To order, if you will, before we begin, Mr. West is going to word a prayer, and then Mr. Patrick will lead us in the pledge.
Father, to begin this meeting, we ask you for your wisdom to help us make sound decisions for our school system. We pray the decision we make tonight will have a positive influence both now and into the future. We pray for our students, teachers, and support staff as they travel to and from school and to the tournaments for the next few weeks. We ask that you be with them and their families. Most of all, Father, thank you for Jesus Christ, the sacrifice he made on the cross. God, guard and direct us in everything we do. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Again, welcome to everyone. We're glad that you could be with us tonight. Moving to item 3 on the agenda, approve the minutes of the February 10th, 2022 regular session as received. Motion by Mr. Weir, second by Mr. West. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 4, approve the agenda for the March 10th, 2022 regular session as you have in front of you. The only thing that we've added, I guess, from when it originally came out is item number 12, and we'll discuss that when we get there, but we'll have an executive session to discuss the architect's proposals.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by Mr. Sherrill, seconded by Mr. Lynn. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 5, consider continuing insurance coverage with Risk Management Trust for 2022-2023. If you'll recall, we've dealt with Risk Management Trust for several years now. I think Ashley's been in contact with them. They expect a slight increase of 2 to 3% on our premium, but we've had very good luck with them. They know our business. We have taken procedures to bid this out in the past. That's been probably 4 or 5 years ago at this point. And we have the liberty to do that currently. But if the board wanted to, we could just we could continue with it.
Would you see that?
July 1. It'll be a New Year's budget.
Does this have general liability policy and things like?
Workers' comp.
Or workers' comp comes into play with that too?
We did. It wouldn't have to be.
You're going to bid it, yes.
Right, if we don't proceed with them, it's kind of thinking, right. At this point, our options are either to proceed and be satisfied with them or bid, seek bids. We could do that. And like Mr. Lynn was saying, if something didn't, if they, I guess, went back on the board, we could for sure seek bids at that.
Second.
Mr. Lynn made a motion to continue with Risk Management Trust. Already had one. Second by Mr. Upton, right? Any discussion?
And that,
The what?
we did say 2 to 3%.
2 to 3%. Again, we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Lynn, second by Mr. Upton. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to item number 6, approve new travel reimbursement rates. You have a copy of some documentation in your packet been, it's essentially the result of IRS increasing standard, travel reimbursement rates and being adopted by the state as well, so we will, follow in those footsteps.
You need to choose an effective date of this. It's okay to do it to January 1. What that would entail is us going back, and anybody that's turned in travel from then till now will have to go back and pay the difference of the two, or you can make it effective today, or you can, that's totally up to you all. The .585 would be the new travel mileage reimbursement rate. And then if you'll go to that second page, the per diem rates, we always just stick with it. We say, our policy says we have a modified state rate, and we always just pick the standard rate, the 13 for breakfast, the 15 for lunch, and the 26 for dinner. We don't go to all the different cities and pick different rates depending on which city you're in. That's the way we've done it in the past. And then that back travel sheet will just show you the 13, 15, and 26 and the .585.
How much trouble is that to retroactive?
We'll do whatever. We'll just have to pull everything that's been paid on the 355 and just go back and figure. Most of it'll be just the mileage, because we don't have a lot of overnight travel right now because everybody's doing everything virtually. So it'll just be calculating 100 miles at .585 versus .47 and paying the difference of the two. We can do it. It's fine either way.
So this is the kind of money we're having to pay people when they come present stuff to us and stuff like that.
No, this is for our employees, if our employees are using
If
personal
they
use
have
of
to go
vehicle.
for trainings and so forth.
Exactly.
In the county too, we're traveling from school to school during the day.
Someone travels from here to Palm Springs.
Yes.
If they use their vehicle. So again, Ashley's saying either make it retroactive 1/1, or we can make it effective as of tonight, and then going forward, anything that is paid for travel will be at that new rate.
What do we budget for that?
Travel, everybody's travel's in their own line item, so I'd have to go through and add them all up. I'm not real sure what that is off the top of my head. You know, like my department will have travel, Ms. Monroe will have travel, Misty will have a group with, Derek, whoever, everybody has it under the code that they're paid in. There's an amount of travel budgeted, and then everybody's gotta work it out inside that budget.
Most of this will be the mileage, correct? We'll have very few of the.
Yes,
per
very
diems
few.
on
I
there.
mean, you'll have some overnights, but if it is, most of the time it's a mandatory meeting or one of those trainings that they need to go to. Like, say for instance, in June you have a lot. You'll have a Fall Creek Falls with the supervisors that go for training. You'll have a Skyward training that's for our attendance people. You'll have a transportation training that's for our transportation group, and they are overnight trips. A
What
lot
was
of
the
them.
previous mileage? Was it like 57 cents?
.47.
So we hadn't updated this in a while, because the
No,
IRS
they just-
standard, right?
They just updated it. It says January 1. So.
This has been about 55 to 57 for a while,
Okay.
for sure,
Yeah.
for self-employed.
Okay.
Almost certain.
And
Right,
it was,
mileage.
this is 58 and a half, I think it was 56.
Well, we didn't update it then.
So then the increase is greatly appreciated.
I'm sure.
48 cents.
We do encourage the use of the vans that we have outside. We have two. I will say that a lot of times sports takes that over anything else, because if they need 6 or 7 to travel with them, our insurance covers them in that van. Versus me driving my vehicle just by myself to Hermitage Springs, my insurance is going to cover me. But if you have 6 or 7 children in the vehicle with you, it needs to be in our van, because our insurance covers that vehicle.
Make a motion to approve the increase,
As
go back and do it first.
a retroactive 1/1. A motion by Mr. Sherrill to approve the new travel reimbursement rate effective January 1, 2022. Seconded by Mr. Lynn. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to item number 7, and we'll do these separately, if you will. Consider the following bids: A, tractor-related attachments and implements. We got 2 bids for the tractor. The specs are similar as far as each tractor that, or each company that's provided a bid. Obviously, you know the difference between the brands, but the specs are similar. Mr. Matt, who will be using the tractor for his program, has done some research as well.
Okay, he says that on the John Deere one, we'll start with it. It has a 2-year bumper to bumper, a 6-year powertrain, and a 1-year warranty on all the attachments, and 3 to 5 on gearboxes of those attachments. I don't know if they all have one, because I don't know what those attachments all are, but that's what he wrote down. The dealerships on John Deere are Cookeville, Glasgow, Crossville, Lebanon. So availability is good with that one. Okay, on the Twin Lakes, you have 2-year bumper to bumper, 4-year powertrain. So it's 2 years less on that one. The 5-year gearbox and 1 year on everything else. The loader itself on the Twin Lakes one has a 1-year warranty. On the John Deere one, it follows the 2-year bumper to bumper and 6-year powertrain. So the loader has the better warranty on the John Deere one than the Twin Lakes. The 2 places that you have Rickman, which is a fairly new place that they have access to, and the closest place other than that in Tennessee is Rockwood.
And this is still part of that grant,
This is all paid for by the grant.
Yes.
that specifically for this type of stuff.
Exactly.
And there's enough money in there that we put in there to budget in the beginning. We will not have to amend it. Either way you go.
I make motion for the
Motion by Mr. Lynn to
Second.
go with Tri-Green. And seconded by Mr. Sheriff. Any further discussion, or any discussion? If not, we'll call a roll. Mr. Lynn? Mr. Sheriff? Ms. Weir? Mr. West? Mr. Hatch? Mr. Upton? And I vote aye. Motion passes. Brings us to item B, consider the bids for dishwasher for Henry Springs School from Dykes Food Service Solutions, retroactive to March 2nd, 2022. We had some communication on this during the month. This was the only bid that Ms. Laura received.
Make a motion, we go with the dishwasher here.
Motion by Mr. Upton,
Second.
second by Mr. Sheriff. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8, consider the following trip request. A, Clay County High School FBLA to Chattanooga for the State Leadership Conference from April the 4th to the 6th, 2022. You have a copy of the trip request there.
Motion to approve.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. West, seconded by Mr. Upton. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to item number 9, consider the following policy on first reading. A, revised policy 6.306, interference, disruption of school activities. You have a copy of that policy there as well. requiring us to review annually in March.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Weir,
Was there any changes?
honestly not that I'm aware of.
I say.
Seconded by Mr. Upton. Motion on the floor by Ms. Weir, seconded by Mr. Upton. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to our principal's report. Mr. G, would you like to go first, sir?
Nurse Felicia and her AED team and our school have been designated as a Heart Safe school. We did get that designation from Project Adam with the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. To achieve this, the rep from Vanderbilt came to observe an actual AED drill, and the goal there was to see what we needed help on, and then she was to give that instruction, and then we were supposed to practice a while, and then she was going to come back. We passed the first time, so that team will be recognized and awarded that designation. So they worked hard at that, and I feel comfortable being there because of their skills. So, Dr. Seuss Day, our students enjoyed a day of fun and hands-on activities. You know, when you can wear your pajamas to school, it's always a good day, so they enjoyed that. Saturday is National Girl Scout Appreciation Day, so we'll recognize them tomorrow. They're going to help us with announcements and talk about being a Girl Scout and read the Girl Scout pledge and things like that. Report cards were supposed to go home today at our school, but due to the ball game, we're going to send those home tomorrow. And last Friday was the National Day of Prayer. Our FCA was really involved in that. They had a outside gathering before school started. Coach Porter and Miss Martha are very involved with our FCA program. It was all student-led, but they helped to organize to get everybody there. So we've had to change our parent-teacher conferences and our pre-K and kindergarten registration until next Tuesday, and then our MAP testing's coming up. I gave a letter to Miss Monroe on Monday, and she asked me to share that with you now. Dear Miss Monroe, I want to sincerely thank you for the opportunity I've had to be the principal at Hermitage Springs School. It's been an honor to work with such a wonderful school. The staff, parents, students, and community welcomed me and have made me feel right at home for the last 2 years. I've always said that I want to know it's time to make a change before everyone else figures it out. Well, the time has come for me. The responsibilities along with the year-round schedule are getting to be more than I can do at the level that this school and the district deserve from a principal. I want to spend more time with my family and increase my involvement in my church. My mom lives in Indiana and is getting a little bit older, and I plan to visit her much more often. With my current schedule as principal, it's impossible for me to do these things and dedicate the time I need in both areas. Ms. Monroe, I appreciate your gracious comments urging me to continue on and telling me not to leave. I've thoroughly enjoyed working with you since you started, and I can only wish that we could have had a longer time to work together earlier in my career. The Board of Education members, you all have been very supportive and genuinely interested in our school's progress. I have nothing but good things to say about the leadership of Clay County Schools. I started this career wanting to be a teacher, so I can't think of a better way to end it than to return to the classroom as a teacher. Having said all that, I would like to remain at Hermitage Springs as a teacher if the opportunity arises. I love teaching and seeing children learn. This year finishes my 37th year as an educator. I couldn't have written, and this is sincere from the heart, I couldn't have written the ending of my career any better than finishing it up in Clay County. Please accept my resignation as principal of Hermitage Springs School effective June 30th, 2022. You all, I used to drive through Clay County to get to somewhere else. I used to drive to Hermitage Springs to get a dairy burger. I don't just drive through anymore. I look at people in the cars and I look at people, you know, as I visit. this is a real place for me now, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. G. We appreciate your service, and we certainly hate to see you go. And we'll ask you if you would like to consider to just keep staying.
Please. I've already begged.
I don't accept your
Well, Mrs. Monroe, her first comment was, she said, "It's because of me? I just came on and you're leaving." No, it's not. I hope
Please
you know
don't
that.
leave.
Thank you, Mr. G. We certainly appreciate your time, sir. Mr. Maxfield, sorry, we should have let you go first.
That's tough to follow.
Are you leaving too?
Well, that was my next letter. I really lean a lot on this guy here, through the course of last year and this year. So, he's been a really good mentor because he's got a lot of information and he helped me a lot. And really going to miss him in that position. But, I'll get concerning K-8. We have sent home our third 9 weeks report cards. We had a parent-teacher conferences this past Tuesday. In our 21st Century After School program, the students have been discussing different types of shoes. They have designed their own shoes. Starting next week, they will be making their own pair of shoes out of cardboard and tape. That'll be interesting to see. We will also be starting I think next week, our MAPS testing. We recently celebrated Read Across America as well, and I'm going to brag on our junior high students. They actually dressed up as characters out of some of the books and went into the lower grades and read to those students, and I heard nothing but praise out of the teachers and from the students that they had read to. So, I really want to, speak out proud about them. They did a really good job. And our spring sports have started. Our girls softball team won their opening game against Trousdale County, and our boys baseball team also won their opening game against Jackson County. And anytime we can get a win on either one of those, I'm always real happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maxfield. Any questions? Mr. Mack? Ms. Monroe?
Well, the first thing is I want to thank Mr. G for the time that I've had with you. It's been an honor and a privilege. And I did sincerely ask Mr. G to stay on, but I understand, his mother, as our families get older, they need more seeing about. So I totally understand what we appreciate. I sincerely appreciate what time I've had with you. And if we receive a grant that we're expecting or might get in spring, we're probably going to put Mr. G in that at Hermitage Springs if the grant comes through, okay? So we hope that happens too. You all know our Clay County High School Bulldog, the girls, lost today in the state tournament to Gleason, and our boys play next Thursday. So we're excited about the girls have had a wonderful season, and we hope the boys have just a little bit longer season. But everything seems to be going well.
Any questions? Thank you, ma'am. That will bring us to number 12, and this is maybe a little bit unorthodox from what we've normally done. But our attorney advised us that we could do this and would be best in order to do this, but to enter into executive session to discuss the proposed, or I guess the provided cost on our proposed projects that we have. By doing that, we'll empty the room and just essentially speak only to our architect and questions that we have. We're going to give him a call here in just a moment, but we'll do that. So essentially, I guess, for all intents and purposes, the meeting's over. Feel free to hang around for somebody to make a motion to adjourn, but other than that, our meeting will conclude our regular items. I think Mr. Matt's going to join us from a maintenance standpoint, and Ashley actually has some information for us and will stay with us as well regarding the costs.